Do I want to start the stream? Of course I want to start the stream. We're going to play Diablo 2. See what all my Twitch friends just got an alert about. Sometimes I forget to update the notice that they're getting when I start streaming. Oh, no, it's still the same. We're going to talk about upcoming horror movies, 2019 horror movies. I have an earlier recording up on YouTube right now if you want to go check out the first half or so of the films we're going to discuss. But let's see what we got next. I think the one I left off on was Are You Afraid of the Dark? There's an Are You Afraid of the Dark movie that's going to happen. It's kind of fun, huh? All right, let's get started. Level 7. I'm just getting started, y'all. Here we go. Everything over there looks okay. Scratch my ear. You know what I'm doing wrong? I'm so stupid. I've got night shift on. One time I was in a private screening of a movie. Some friends of mine were screening a new film to get feedback on their edit, and I'm watching it, and I was like, man, the cinematography, very, very interesting, very bold. Towards the end of the movie, it just looked so brown, and it was gradual, but it was a very big contrast from the beginning of the film. And then at the end of the movie, they announced that the laptop they were streaming the file from was in had night shift enabled, which is the Apple program that gradually takes the blue light out of your screen, so you can go to sleep. It's pretty funny. All right, let's see. Here we go. All right, let's do this. Where am I? Where are my quests? This is the first time I've played through this game. Okay, that's kind of cool. Let's see what I got in my inventory. The inventory is one of my favorite parts of this game.
Good day.
Do I need to trade anything? Oh, I need my scroll of town portal. Got plenty of those. Anything in there I need? Not really.
Good day.
I guess I don't need to repair anything. Alright, so let's see what's up next. So, again, there's an entire first half of the year of 2019 where I kind of go through each of the films that are upcoming. As I record this, it's early February, so there's only been a couple of movies that have come out. So the next movie I want to talk about is called The Lighthouse. Very excited for this film. This is directed by Robert Eggers, who is the guy who directed Oops, I'm muting it. Don't mean to do that. The guy who directed The Witch, or The Vitch, as some may call it. But Robert Eggers, a very exciting filmmaker. I don't know a lot about his background, but I want to say he began in the industry as a production designer. So he had a very specific vision for The Witch that I think turned out very well. Just gonna start by hacking up a bunch of people. So what is The Lighthouse about? So The Lighthouse stars Willem Dafoe, recently Oscar-nominated Willem Dafoe, and Robert Pattinson, who you may know as Edward from the Twilight series. Has everybody forgotten about Twilight already? Maybe. So this film was apparently shot on 35mm black and white film stock. Not that common anymore. Set in 1890, and it tells the story of an aging lighthouse keeper. And again, it's Robert Eggers' follow-up to The Witch. Interesting. Apparently, Pattinson said it was very physically demanding, and Pattinson admitted that the intense shoot was, quote-unquote, the closest I've come to punching a director. Which is, you know, pretty interesting. Let me find out where I'm going here. I need to go this way? I don't need any of that. So very excited about that. Robert Eggers, very talented director. And it's been some time. When did The Witch come out? 2015? It feels like it's been, you know, 3, 4, maybe even 5 years since that movie. There's another film coming out. Well, first of all, The Lighthouse just says 2019. It's supposed to come out sometime this year, but we don't know when. So is this my helper? What's she doing? Did I hire her? So there's another film called Three from Hell. This also is set to debut sometime in 2019, but I don't really know when it's going to come out. It stars Clint Howard, Danny Trejo, Dee Wallace, and Sherry Moon Zombie, who is of course the wife of Rob Zombie, and you guessed it, Rob Zombie is directing this film. It says Rob Zombie's newest film picks back up with the murderous Firefly Clan. And, you know, I've seen most of Rob Zombie's films, and for the life of me, I can't remember where I've seen the Firefly Clan before. So that film comes out this year. Hopefully that ends up on Shudder at some point. There's also a film called In the Tall Grass, also slated for 2019. This is directed by Vincenzo Natali, who is a really interesting filmmaker who is, I think he's Canadian, but he has done some really fine work. He started his career making the Splice movies, if you remember the Splice movie. I mean, not Splice, the Cube movies. I think he made the first one and maybe some of the sequels. I can't remember. But very interesting, thoughtful filmmaker. He also made a great film called Splice that you should check out, not to be confused with Split, the M. Night Shyamalan film. Oh, another waypoint. But check that out. It's based on the novel In the Tall Grass, which was co-written by Joe Hill and Stephen King. Joe Hill, of course, being the son of Stephen King. I cannot for the life of me imagine writing anything with my dad. It just seems like a strange proposition. But then again, my dad is not Stephen King, so. What's going on over here? Apparently, this is going to be a Netflix film, so that's exciting. In the Tall Grass follows a brother and sister driving through Kansas who stop to investigate when they hear calls for help. Sounds very Stephen King. Sounds very Stephen King. Oh no. That's no fun. See if I can go catch up there. Netflix has been doing some great work in the realm of original horror. Not original, but adaptations have been good. Oh man, look, I can just punch people to death. Let's see if I got something I can equip here. Put on a sweet hat. There we go. It's game on. You know, I think that companion aggroed a lot of dudes I was not ready to fight yet. Look at these old boys coming after your humble narrator. Hackety hack, clickety click. Not a lot of skill required here. Gray Maim the Jagged. Sounds pretty cool. Let's see if he gave me anything cool. That actually looks pretty decent. This looks like hot trash. Ooh, a bow? A yellow bow? I don't really know what that does, but okay. Let me refill my heals here. In the Tall Grass stars Patrick Wilson, no stranger to horror films. He, of course, appears in many of James Wan's movies, The Conjuring and Insidious. Very fine actor. Also, Ocean Master in Aquaman, which is now the highest-grossing DC comic book movie of all time. There's another film called Crawl. This directed by Alexander Aja, I think. Stars Kaya Scodelario and Barry Pepper. Where's Barry Pepper been? That dude is awesome. He played the sniper in Saving Private Ryan.
I am overburdened.
A wolf head. Alright, so these guys are getting resurrected, but by who? That guy. It's gotta be him. Did these guys stop getting resurrected, or are they still getting resurrected?
I can't carry anymore.
You know what that means. It's time for a town portal. Womp. Alright. Let's see what I can sell, dear friends. So, Crawl. What is Crawl about? Crawl is about a young woman trapped in a flooding house during a Category 5 hurricane. That sounds an awful lot like Hurricane Katrina. As she finds herself in a fight for her life against alligators. Produced by Sam Raimi. And helmed by new French Extremity director. You know, I've never heard... I mean, of course, they're referring to High Tension or Haute Tension or whatever the French version of that is. Which is a pretty intense film. And Alex Aja is right in there with some of the heroes of torture porn or whatever. Apparently, there was a movement called New French Extremity, which is such a strange, such a strange phrase. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty gnarly. It's going to be pretty gnarly. Next up, you know, I don't know what to think about this movie because the original is one of my favorite horror films of all time. But there is a remake of Jacob's Ladder. The original Jacob's Ladder, directed by Adrian Lyne, is just an incredible film. Incredible film. It stars Tim Robbins. And I'm not going to tell you anything about it, but you need to go watch it because it's brilliant and... it's just a brilliant film. 52% damage to undead. Interesting. It seems pretty great against the undead. I wonder if I should keep that around, huh? Maybe. Maybe. So the Jacob's Ladder remake is directed by David M. Rosenthal. And yeah, we don't have a specific release date, but it is going to get a theatrical release sometime in 2019. Although, wait, apparently there's a rumor that the Jacob's Ladder remake may be delayed indefinitely. Oh no, this says it's pretty clear it probably sucks. I don't know. It says it's known to have been holding test screenings since 2016. I can't even imagine. It's 2019. I can't even imagine what is going on with a film that has been test screening for 3 years. Interesting. Well, there's always the original, which is an incredible film, and you should go check it out. It will terrify you and also blow your mind.
Not here.
Blow your mind. Sorry, Mana. I'm gonna sell you. Well, that's... I don't know if I should be excited or upset by that. There's also a Spawn reboot that... also a Spawn reboot. Fancy that, huh? Spawn is the comic about a guy who is... Oh, I have 2 of those. 13%, 17%. Alright, so I can sell the 13%. Right? Right? I can sell this X too, I think. Kind of makes a cool sound. Spawn is going to be directed by Todd McFarlane, who is the creator of the Spawn comic upon which the film will be based. So that's going to be interesting. You know, I mean, I'm not going to contend that it's a great film, but I actually still like the Spawn movie that came out in the 90s because it's crazy. It stars Martin Sheen as the villain. Martin Sheen is a great villain, by the way. You know, he was a great villain in a Stephen King movie that you may or may not have seen. Am I going to tell you the title? Maybe. I'll give you a hint. It co-stars Christopher Walken. Go look it up. It's great. Can I kill that guy? Anyway. This film has not shot yet, but it's supposed to be rated R. The remake. I doubt it has John Leguizamo as the crazy clown guy, but I'm very excited about this. I think it's going to be a pretty good movie. Or at least I hope so. Todd McFarlane has been talking about it forever, in any case. Oh, I gotta go sell that axe. Let's go ahead and equip this. Huh? What? Oh, I can only, the bow takes 2 hands? It's kind of disappointing, huh? Can I do something like this? Oh, nice. I can. Next up we have Eli, directed by Kieran Foy. Sounds like a good time. It stars Kelly Riley, the incredibly beautiful Kelly Riley, Lily Taylor, Max Martini, and Sadie Sink. I'm not familiar with Sadie Sink, but I have to tell you, I'm a fan of that name. Eli follows a boy receiving a treatment for his autoimmune disorder who discovers that the house he lived in isn't as safe as he thought. The script was voted as one of the best unproduced screenplays in the Blacklist back in 2015. And apparently Netflix has purchased this already, so you can check this out on Netflix. Let me equip that axe. A wolf head, huh? Interesting. recharge a little bit. There's a movie called Little Monsters, directed by Abe Forsyth, who also wrote the script. It stars Lupita Nyong'o, Josh Gad, Stephen Peacock, and Jason Chong. It is a horror comedy about a washed-up musician who teams up with a teacher and a kid's personality to protect the young children from a sudden outbreak of zombies. Now, I'm not the greatest fan of horror comedies. They're usually not funny and not scary, but there are a select few that are very good, and if there is anybody that has their pick of projects, it is Lupita Nyong'o and Josh Gad. They definitely have their pick of projects, so I'm very curious to see this film because they're in it. And again, that just comes out in 2019. It's still early enough in the year that nobody really knows. Why can I not use this? Is that what's happening? I can't.
Impossible.
I don't understand. Well, hack and slash it is. I just cut that guy in half. There is a movie called The Silence, directed by John R. Leonetti. It stars Kiernan Shipka, who you may know from Mad Men, or from the new Sabrina, which I think is actually pretty good. You should check it out. Clearly not intended for children. It's very dark. Very dark. I don't know if I would let my small children watch it if I had small children, which I don't. The Silence is based on the novel by Tim Lebbon, and it follows a family struggling to survive in a world terrorized by deadly, primeval species who have bred for decades in the pitch darkness of a vast underground cave system. Hunting only with their acute hearing. That is one hell of a run-on sentence. The cast is certainly intriguing. Although it kind of smacks of the cash-in on A Quiet Place. You know, I think people have been eager to write horror films in a world where the protagonists need to deny the use of one of their senses for one reason or another. Oh. Oh no. That happened faster than I thought it would. Let me see if I can punch my way back to glory. There's a film called Polaroid, which is a great name for a horror film. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised. I don't know why I'm bending down like that, just to talk into my microphone. Polaroid is directed by Lars Klevberg, who I'm not familiar with. Follows a high school loner who stumbles upon a vintage Polaroid camera, and only to discover that those who have their picture taken meet a tragic end, which feels sort of inspired by The Ring? No? Oh, look, there are 2 Micah Haley bodies I can check out. Is that my dude? Did I just kill my dude? Oh, that's me again. Alright, well, let's see what I gotta get rid of. The cap's got to go. Goodbye. Those gotta go. Sorry, bolts. I barely knew ye. Oh, I'm all out of Tome of Identify. Kinda sucks.
I can't carry anymore.
Well, you know what that means. Time for a little Scroll of Town portal. I always laugh at the early stage of a video game where your character sucks and you have no money and you're selling like anything you can. You're selling like wooden spoons and stuff you stole. I don't have enough gold for that. What? That's much better than this. There we go. Do I have any money now? Yes, I do. What does energy do? Do I care about energy? Maybe. What do my rings here do? Lightning resist? That's what I want, my light radius. Cool. Did I grab my... Yes, I did. Gotta keep that Scroll of Town portal in your bag. Sorry, I've had a long week. I don't normally talk like that. There's all my gold. Did I get all my cool stuff back? There's my short bow that I can't even use. Is that how that works? I don't really know. Oh, I see. Yeah, Polaroid coming up. Only got a couple left. You know, once you get into these movies that are coming out later in the year, who knows if they're actually coming out this year. was pretty gross. There's a film called Body at Brighton Rock. That's directed by Roxanne Benjamin, and it stars a lot of people I'm not familiar with. And this film follows a park ranger who spends the night guarding a potential crime scene on a remote mountain trail. Roxanne Benjamin has done some pretty great things with her anthology segments in XX and Southbound. I really like Southbound, so we're definitely excited to see her tackle some feature-length projects. I definitely have. Excited about that. Let's see who else I can shoot arrows at. There's a film called You Should Have Left, which is release date. Okay, this is To the Underground Passage. I'm going to have to clear that at some point. You Should Have Left is directed by David Koepp, who is a very veteran screenwriter. As this article says, David Koepp is perhaps best known for his writing credits, which include, wait for it, Jurassic Park, Mission Impossible, Death Becomes Her, and Stir of Echoes. So it should be intriguing to see what he does with this adaptation of Daniel Kellman's book. In the story, a screenwriter travels to a remote house in the Alps with his family so that he can write the sequel to his big hit film, but he begins to regret his decision after he's suffering from a severe case of writer's block, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, should be fun. I don't know that David Koepp has ever directed anything before, but he certainly has collaborated with some top-tier directors, so I gotta imagine some of that has rubbed off. Directing is not a super easy job. If you've ever watched somebody do it, there's a lot going on there. Guess I've cleared this for the most part, huh? There's a film called Ma, M.A., which is directed by Tate Taylor. Tate is great. I've met Tate, and he was just such a gentleman, such a Southern gentleman. He did Get On Up, the James Brown biopic. It starred Chadwick Boseman. I actually met Chadwick Boseman too. I met them both at a premiere of that film, or a screening of that film, and they were both just very nice. And I think highly of Tate. I think he's a good director, and I look forward to seeing this film. This is a new psychological horror thriller from Blumhouse and Tate Taylor. Oh, also Tate did The Help and Girl on the Train. I wasn't that big of a fan of Girl on the Train, but maybe something's wrong with me. And it's about a lonely woman who befriends a group of teenagers and decides to let them party at her house. Just when the kids think their luck couldn't get any better, things start to happen that makes them question the intention of their host. And this film stars Juliette Lewis, Luke Evans, Missy Pyle, Octavia Spencer, who is delightful, and Allison Janney, who also can do no wrong. Let's check out this underground passage, huh? Now, is this a part of my quest? I can't remember. Let's find out. Yes, underground passage. So there's gonna be some people to kill in here, huh? Well, that was fun.
I am overburdened.
There's a film called Followed, which I think has already released some early photos. early promotional stills. Oh, what do we got over here? Director Anton Lee, and followed a controversial video blogger. That's kind of what I'm doing right now. In an attempt to gain more subscribers, stays at a cursed hotel with terrifying results. This 1408 meets unfriended quote-unquote screen life horror, which marks the feature film debut of director Antoine Lee. Took home the Best Horror Feature Film Award when it premiered at the Burbank International Film Festival. So that's kind of exciting, huh? You know, I've enjoyed some quote-unquote screen life movies, but I don't think they have really been used to their full effect yet. I think there is... we have things to learn. There is new ground to be trodden. There's a new film called The Antlers, which is directed by Scott Cooper, always an interesting filmmaker. That stars Kerry Russell, Jesse Plemons, the always great Jesse Plemons, jokingly referred to as Meth Damon on the internet. But really, he's a fine actor. He was really great in Friday Night Lights, Once Upon a Time. And he's just great in everything. Breaking Bad. Jesse Plemons can basically do no wrong in my eyes. He's just always interesting. He makes every film he's in better. I think he's re-teaming with Cooper here, who used him on Black Mass, if I'm not getting my wires crossed. I think I'm correct in assuming that. So this film, which is produced by Guillermo del Toro, with a script from Channel Zero's Nick Antosca. That's kind of interesting. This fantasy horror follows a small-town Oregon teacher and her brother, the local sheriff, who becomes entwined. I don't know why that's E-N-T. It should be I-N-T. I don't know. With a young student harboring a dangerous secret with frightening consequences. Well, that's exciting. Cool. I feel like these guys drop less when I use the exploding arrows or whatever I've got working here. Let's see if I can continue to clear this area out. Kind of fun. Well, I'm excited for that movie. Scott Cooper is a really good filmmaker, so I'm curious to see what he does with it. And I think that's it. I think that's all that's on my radar this year. There'll probably be a few surprises. There always are. But that's a pretty exciting list. Whoa, there's some dude trying to kill me. Don't I have a thawing potion? just like point blank range, hack and slash, arrow it up, and then loot, loot, loot. There's always a few surprises in store every year in the horror genre. There's a few good films, a few bad films. You know, I don't think I need this low quality leather gloves. I don't need that either. I don't know how I haven't run out of arrows yet. Oh well. Let's see what else is down here. Scott Cooper doing a horror thriller, huh? It's very smart of him. The guy's an artist. He makes films that have, I think, pretty great artistic value. You could just tell by listening to him in interviews that he is a very immersed filmmaker. He's very emotionally engaged in his films, and I think that makes his films emotionally engaging. I think that does translate. Clickety click. What's happening over here?
I can't.
Am I out of arrows? I guess I am. I don't understand. Oh well. Time to hack and slash, friends.
I can't carry anymore.
I think I can carry more. Horror films are still some of the films that I like seeing with an audience. Most films I see, I tend to see earlier showings, and just because of whatever scheduling. I like an early afternoon movie where I have a meeting that I have to go to, and I leave the office. Sometimes you got a meeting, Sometimes you have a meeting. But horror movies I still enjoy seeing with an audience on opening night. The audience reaction is a part of the fun. Now sometimes it kind of backfires. Hereditary would be great with some audiences and terrible with others. But it would also be really great with some audiences. So it's worth checking out. You can usually guess in advance which films are going to be good with audiences and which won't be. If Saw comes out, I'm seeing that on Friday at 7:30 or whatever the most prime showing is, so I can get a lot of people in there with me, because the audience reaction really is a part of that theatrical experience, in good ways and bad ways. Doesn't really bother me. Also, it took me a while to come around to this policy, but I, some time ago, adopted a policy of confronting people who make disturbances in a theater. So if this is a pitch black screening, and interesting. This is a pitch black theater. You turn your phone on and it's at full brightness, I will just call you out on it. And not really in a nice way. I usually just yell, "Turn your phone off," really loudly. I always let the people I'm going with know that I do this, so they kind of see it. they kind of see it coming. But I think it's just better for everybody, That, or if you're talking and it's early in the movie, I just pick my moment and yell at one person, and everybody behaves themselves for the rest of the movie, And, it might make some people uncomfortable, but it is one of the privileges of being kind of an adult, is people listen to you. But, for every 5 people, we'll say, in a packed theater, that want to act disrespectfully or, just do things that have nothing to do with the movie. If you're talking and you're talking about the movie, that doesn't bother me at all. But if you're FaceTiming with somebody about Diablo II, and I'm trying to watch Hereditary in a theater, I am going to probably yell at you to stop and raise the embarrassment level as much as I can, so that you stop, Gotta kill that shaman early, Gotta put him down. Cool, got a little health shrine action happening. You know what? I think it's time to sell some of this. Get my money back up. Part of the fun of these games is bringing in worthless things, selling them, saving up your money, and then never never ever spending the money. Never spending the money. I never do it. I also save up. I've just done this for so long. Like, I'll save up tons of health potions and save frequently and reload often. And oh, look at all this fun stuff. That means I'm about to have to fight somebody.
I am overburdened.
Let's see what I got here, friends. Cool. Very slow attack speed. Oh, it's assassins only. I'm not an assassin. It looks like it's time for a little scroll of town portal again. Sell some stuff. But yeah, I just confront people in the theater. I have a theory, and I test this out on a regular basis just as a fellow patron, that if, you know, look, most of the people that act up and cause problems in a movie theater, which is one of the major reasons some people have stopped going to a theater, is that cell value 11, that's it? Whatever. One of the reasons they act up is they just don't think they're going to get called out on it. You know, they think there's nobody in the room. There's no adult. You know, their mindset is the mindset of a second grader, and they think they can play pranks or do whatever and not get caught. So if they know that it's not going to go like that, that somebody is going to challenge them and let them know that it's not okay to be disrespectful to others, then most of the time they'll behave. So, I mean, rarely have I ever yelled at somebody and they keep doing it. That I want to say that may have happened one time my entire life. I've had to get up and the second time ask somebody, get a manager to remove somebody. But that just happens so rarely. Usually it just never comes to that. But most of the time, if you just let people know that's not cool, don't act like a jerk, then they're fine and everybody's fine for the whole movie and everybody gets to enjoy the whole movie, which is great. So that's why I do it, because I don't really mind being the bad guy for 5 minutes. I think that I would not have to do that if movie theaters were more proactive about policing their own theaters. Now I know this is kind of expensive, but it's not like you have to sit an employee in the theater the whole time. Like, you just have somebody make an appearance at the beginning and that's it. Yeah, I'm gonna hang out right here for a minute. See if I can draw out some of these dudes. These guys all have... I'm gonna die. You're telling me not one of these dudes is gonna peel off and come chase me? Is there anything I can do? Oh, and I'm out. I didn't get another scroll of town portal. That is such a mistake on my part. I'm gonna die. I better not die down here. Oh, I think I can throw that. Yes. Cool. Maybe I need to try to burn those guys. I think if the theaters would just have somebody come in at the beginning of each movie, tell people to sit down and behave themselves or they'll be kicked out, I think it would be fine. It's just people, you almost never see an employee come out and do anything like that. So people just think there's nobody there to hold them accountable. Oh, this has worked out well.
I can't carry anymore.
Okay. God, I sound so old when I talk about that, don't I? I sound so old. What is that up there? I think I'm all done so, huh? Oh, there's one more dude. Guess that's everybody. Nobody else? Well, I guess I'll just go back up then. Can't identify stuff. No scroll at town portal. I am a shit show right now. So I haven't been up there yet. I can go up there, right? What else am I watching? I just started watching You on Netflix. I may do a whole broadcast about that. I've really enjoyed that film, that series. Very different than I thought, and for the life of me, I don't know how that show ended up on Lifetime. It is not a Lifetime show. Kind of Dextery. Great performances. I really like the actors. Penn Badgley is awesome. Why haven't I seen him in more stuff? I just saw a Scroll of Town portal pop up. You know what that means, friends. Time to go visit my friends and relatives. In town. Via the town portal.
Greetings.
Get a couple of scrolls of identify. Now, is this better than what I currently have on? It is not. Defense 23. Ooh, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, Bolts. Sorry, Mana. Might be about time to repair something, huh?
Good evening.
So what happens if you don't repair stuff? Does it, do you lose it? Does it get destroyed? What happens there? I wonder what that is right there. Being a klepto, one of my favorite things to do in this game. Gather everything up. Sell it. Alright. To the dark wood, huh? What is the dark wood? Oh. Some dudes, huh? Now, is that where I came in? I don't understand. Oop. What did I just do? Did I die? Oh, I'm so stupid. Well, I guess that's it for me tonight. That was some fun horror films. Had a lot more to say about the ones coming out in the first half of the year because we know a lot more about those. So you can check that out on YouTube. Just search for my name, Micah Haley. You can also find me on Instagram at It's Micah Haley. I've got about 20,000 people there, and they're all horror fans. So I like to post cool stuff. Also, come hang out if you're a fan of horror films. Come check out the Shudder Discord. Shudder is a streaming service that I'm a big fan of. I'm not a sponsor. I don't work there. I just really like the service. $5 a month. It's like, you know, easily the best value I pay for every month. And we have an awesome little horror subreddit called Shudder, Shudder. And we also have a Discord there, so if you go to reddit.com/r/shutter, you can hang out, and we also have a Discord where we do things like watch movies and chat together. I think tonight they're doing People Under the Stairs, which I just watched a couple of days ago, actually, so I did not join them for that. But they're also watching The Collector tonight. But it's just a whole lot of fun, and you can come hang out there, and have a good night, friends. Save my game. Have a good one.